Definitely ain't the way that I had planned it. Think about fairy tales since third grade, but these are the new roaring 20.
There we go.
There we go.
Hi.
It is Bigfoot Country Radio. Lee Richey keeping you company, and I'm delighted to have with me somebody that you know from TV as the tech expert. She's a tech lady turned Renaissance lady, or are they one and the same? That's what we're going to find out. TV personality, Katie Linendoll. Hello, Katie.
Hello. It's so good to be chatting with you. You're a legend. I should be giving you the introduction.
Okay. Well, you know what I found out when doing my research on you, which these days is just watching YouTube videos.
Right.
We're from the same neck of the woods. Well, you were born in Erie, right? You came from Erie?
Right, Erie, Pennsylvania. Yes.
And we're actually up near Rochester, which, in fact, I live in Honeoye Falls. Do you know where that is?
Of course I do.
Yeah, you do. And I'm sure you've had a garbage plate or two. Maybe not.
Don't ask me how many garbage plates I've had. And if anyone listening wants to know what a garbage plate is, I think it's like 52 grams of sat fat, and I am here for it.
Oh my gosh,
Lots
yeah.
of college nights eating garbage plates at Tahoe's. Yes.
You come back to town, we'll go out for a garbage plate.
I'll hold you to that.
It'll be great.
I can put down some serious food. I'm just letting you know.
You're all over the place, whenever, any kind of a show like the Today Show or Rachel Ray or whenever they have new tech gadgets to highlight and premiere, you're the person that comes out. You're the go-to gal for that. And right now we're talking to you for something a little bit different. You have a music career that I was unaware of, as most people might be. Renaissance Lady, the new single. And
yes.
Here it is.
Oh, look at you.
Look at that. Look at that.
I love it. In hand.
You know what caught my attention about this? The way the photo is, I saw it and immediately I thought of people like, and you won't know these people, but Jeannie C. Riley or Bobby Gentry, like 70s country women. If you go back and you look at some of their album covers, very reminiscent of this. So it's very vintage looking. I love it.
That is very, very kind. I appreciate that.
It's
so funny too, because I don't tell anyone as I'm on a microphone. It was amazing to be able to, that shoot that we were in, to take that album cover. It was the last minute of the day. And my dear friend who's been with me for 7 years, so grateful to have her on my team. She's like, oh my gosh, I have this dress in my bag. Can you just try it for the last shot? Like, see what works? And I'm like, okay, so I'm throwing on her clothes. I took my dad's guitar, stole one of his, although I have 1,000 myself. And isn't that just how it works? It's the last shot in a photo.
Exactly.
Is the shot.
Congratulations on the single. We're going to talk more about that, but we want to talk a little bit about what brought you to the world's attention. You were doing work for ESPN while you were going to RIT?
That's true. Yes, I started my ESPN career at 19.
Oh my gosh.
And I got exposed to television and production, and I knew I had a lot of work to do. I'm truly somebody that worked from the ground up. I mean, really, from a production assistant living in government housing, working at ESPN on SportsCenter behind the scenes to really hone my skills and be better at every possible facet of technology and production. And also doing that now with music, like learning and just taking in everything that I can from people that are much smarter and better than I am.
But technology was not a stretch for you, because that's something you were deep into way back.
I was into technology, I like to say, way before it was cool.
Yeah.
I started coding. Now it's like all the rage. I started coding at about 12, 13 years old. I ended up getting my networking certifications while I was in high school. And then I went to the Rochester Institute of Technology for a degree in IT New Media. I have always been just fascinated and transfixed with the world of tech. And just, as you can imagine, over the years, I thought I would be coding websites for like a career. I mean, I'm such an introvert secretly. I'm a self-taught extrovert at this point. But, I never thought my world would be in a public eye. Technology became so prominent and everybody became a techie that I started getting called in for TV appearances to talk about the latest and greatest tech and gadgets. So this world, like, God is so good, here we are, and you never know what your journey is, and always A to B. And that's the beautiful part about it, right?
Technology moves so fast too. I'm still using an iPod. I'm sorry, but it's my favorite.
Those are back now. Those are vintage back. So
is it really? Okay, cool. I've got 2 of them.
You're in.
How did you become, like I said, the go-to gal when people wanted to find out about this stuff? How did you get all these guest shots and appearances?
It was truly such a journey. I was one of my first jobs. It's so funny to say it out loud, but it was the hardest job, one of the hardest jobs in television that I've ever had. I was working at ESPN for many years on SportsCenter, Outside the Lines and top TV shows on ESPN. And I wanted to go back in front of camera. And the first big opportunity that I got was to be a gadget expert on the Home Shopping Network of all places. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember talking to my agent. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. It ended up being one of the best experiences of my life because you have to go on camera and talk about a technology, whether it's, a Nintendo Switch or at the time the DSi or a GPS system for upwards of an hour without stopping talking.
Did you choose the items or did they say this is what you're talking about?
I would be given these items. So you'd have to it would all be in your head. Everything was off the top of your head. And you had to talk about them for X amount of time, but also you saw your sales in real time. So I just got this deep dive into working on camera and seeing what people were responding to.
That's really cool.
Quick, while being authentic. And my sales were through the roof. I sold $20 million in 2 years. And it was just such an interesting experience, but never what I thought would be my jump off into television. But I'm so grateful I went through it.
Did you ever have to promote an item that you thought was a piece of crap?
I to this day, there's nothing that I won't do that is truly not genuine to who I am. I don't I can't white lie. It's my good Christian roots.
Oh, good for you.
Everything I do is authentic. So if I ever had to talk about something, you really were only getting what I honestly thought. And it worked. It was so funny because the call center would light up when I was on air because people knew I was authentic and real. And we had some fun conversations.
That's great. We're going to put on your country star hat.
Yes.
This was not your first release. You put out a nice Christian EP.
Did.
Let's mention that real quick. Jericho Battlecry.
Jericho Battlecry. I have always been so into Christian CCM and also country music my entire life. And my first foray was, an EP called Jericho Battlecry. And that debut single on the Christian radio chart, it took the song of the year, which was so cool for us as, coming out as an indie artist and really just going for it, but working with people that were so strong and so amazing in terms of producers and vocal compers and vocal producers to put this album together that was so, I hope I continue to do Christian music and I actually gave 100% of all profits from that album to a veterans nonprofit called Bugles Across America that supports trumpeters at veteran funerals because a lot of people don't know that there's a shortage of bugle players to play taps at veterans funerals. So it was awesome to not only be able to get this amped up, patriotic, amazing song that just gets you fired up. It was based off of the Battle of Jericho in Joshua in the Bible. And to be able to put this song I was so proud out, but also to give back, which is so important to me. Every song that I do also is tied to a small nonprofit. Talk about where the money from this is going, because your proceeds are again going to a really worthwhile cause. A portion of all proceeds across the board for Renaissance Lady go to Hurricanes Heroes, which is a canine nonprofit, 100% volunteer based. Hurricane was a former Secret Service dog that actually stopped an intruder in the White House years ago and became an amazing hero and very well known. And what ended up happening was he got his medical bills paid for life. But my dear friends, Marcia and Lisa, who run the foundation, they said, you know what, this isn't fair. We want everybody to have free medical care. All these canines are heroes. So the Hurricanes Heroes is actually a nonprofit that supports veterinary subsidized care for retired canines. So awesome. I'm obsessed with Hurricane. I call him my boyfriend. He's a canine dog. And I've just been blown away by the research and being around so many canines, how obedient, how loyal they are, and how patriotic they are too. Good for you. Where can people right now, before we say another word, where can people get a copy of this? Where can they download it and help support absolutely. This? Anywhere you stream music is available, Renaissance Lady. And of course, call into your favorite stations and request it. That always helps us out a lot. Proceeds going to that cause, which means less of your stuff to give up, half of, right? Is that Totally. That is the whole, we'll talk about the genesis of this song, but I want to hear about not having to give up half your stuff. I want to hear about Jake and Brian and Mark and I'm sure they were real happy when this hit the air. So they were real people. They were real people. I changed the names. Oh, okay, good. Tell us about Renaissance Lady. It's your single. It's currently out. It's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Renaissance Lady is a song. My favorite part of the production process is writing. And I've written so many songs, and there were so many songs that we were ready to put out as singles. And then one night I was doing a Google search of myself. It was something I do like once or twice a year. I really lay off.
That can be dangerous.
It's such a bad idea. No one likes to Google themselves and see what they come up with. But I was looking at these sites and I came up with one of those janky celebrity sites that says your age and your net worth and who you're dating, etc.
And was it accurate?
Well, it was funny. And that's where the song came from. It said, Katie, and I'm paraphrasing, it said Katie has crossed her 30s and she's accomplished in her work life, but she seems to be very behind in her personal life because she's not married. And it says that in a past tweet, she's not willing to give up half of her stuff to be married to somebody.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for that. I'm going to go write a song off of this.
Yeah.
Some people might feel down. I feel great about reading this. And I think it's funny. So it was interesting to read from somebody's perspective. That
sometimes I think bots write those things too.
Probably. Probably. But the one line that really stood out to me was like, Katie considers her work a metaphorical husband. And I was like, perfect. Probably true. So I wrote Renaissance Lady. And to me, we love our men. Like, let's be honest. But I think, where I'm at in my life, it was just a truly genuine song in the sense that it's light and unapologetic and funny. And it's saying, I think in my life, you're going through all these dating experiences and sometimes you're looking for something, but you realize that you had it all along. And I think, in this as a modern woman and as an independent woman, like you can do it all. You can be it all. And the things that I was looking for, I found within myself, which I think is just like I just thank God for that, because we're all on different journeys. And it's not to say that I wouldn't date or be married at some point. It's to say that anyone, no matter what their status listening, is like, yeah, I got this.
And expect a prenup. Renaissance Lady is the single, Katie Linendoll. We're going to hear that in just a bit. So you wrote the song and you went into the studio, and where did you record that?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So in the last 2 years, the recording process, as you can imagine, has been so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually put myself through the ringer. And for my debut EP and now Renaissance Lady, what I did was, thank goodness I'm such a nerd because I had the capability I wrote it. I worked with an amazing, actually Noah Needleman, who is a phenomenal guitarist for Brett Young, helped me with my demo. And he's his creative director as well. And we did the demo back and forth. But then in terms of tracking the actual song, I had a live band in Nashville, but I tracked and engineered all my vocals with my vocal producer. So I did that all through my own technology in my home studios, which was, oh my goodness, super laborious.
Tell me about it.
I never want to go back, or I want to go back into a studio and just be able to sing as opposed to engineering my own session. But I love moments like that because you just learn so much.
But it sounds as good as anything else I've heard. It's fantastic. Yeah.
We worked at a very high bar, as I do with everything in my production world, of course. And it was an experience. Did
you put this out specifically for the fundraising for the cause, or is this just something you thought, well, I'm going to tag this onto it? Tagged it on. Yes. Yeah. My favorite part about what I do in life is my philanthropy and giving back. And I've been volunteering with Hurricanes Heroes for quite a while now. And I'm just so passionate about their cause. And it was funny because we were sitting there chatting and I was like, you guys, I have this idea. Like, I want you to be tied to Renaissance Lady. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're so here for it. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really have a cohesive theme. And they're like, well, Hurricane, the Secret Service dog, will take out all your exes. It totally has a theme. And I was like, perfect. It's a go. I'm hearing a Lifetime movie somewhere in there as well. Right? So it makes perfect sense. And I've got to ask, is this because most people put out a single with an album coming out at some point in the future? Is that something you're working on or want to do? Thank you for that. Great question. We're being pushed in the direction of album, but I just have to stay with my gut and, God's always talking, right? And right now I feel we already are working on this next summer single, which is super exciting. So I think we're going to do a few singles and then an album. Yeah. It's a great time for women in country music. I mean, it didn't used to be. It was like a boys club, but now so many new artists. It's great. It's so exciting. And, I'm somebody that grew up on Jody Messina and Jessica Andrews and Lila McCann. Oh, yeah. Sarah Evans. And those women have such a profound impact still on me. I mean, my playlists have not changed. And to see that kind of comeback
is really, really exciting and overdue, and I'm here for it.
That's awesome. Well, welcome to the family.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Would you consider this more contemporary or traditional country? Or I hear a little mix of both, you know?
You're the expert. You tell me. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing a little bit of both. I like it. It's good.
It's funny. If you would have heard the original, that's the cool part about music of how it evolves. We had some serious 808 in there, and it was going in a completely different direction. But
little rapping going on?
No rapping. That's in my next EP. No,
good. Katie Linendoll, check her out online. Where's the best place to keep up with you? On your official website or Facebook or all over the place?
I try to respond as much as I can on social. I try to keep a balanced life too, though, but at Katie Linendoll and katielinendoll.com/music.
One thing my wife wanted me to ask you.
Oh.
Because we were watching some of your videos and all the different exotic locations that you've reported from. Do you have a favorite?
I have a true, America's always my favorite. I'm such a patriot. I love this country more than
So it's not the steamy lake in Norway or wherever it was. It's not.
Let me tell you my second favorite.
Okay.
Faroe Islands, which is between Iceland and Scotland, and has 40,000 people. There's more sheep on the island. Faroe actually means sheep islands. And there's more sheep on the island than people. And I used to go there to get away from my tech craziness and just to have a relaxing moment. And it was my go-to place. Faroe Islands, I've been there for years. I was going to get a place there.
Oh my gosh.
It's really wild though. I mean, it's very Viking-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have internet?
Good internet.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, like, right? How you would think no. I mean, and that's a location where they still believe in fairies. They still believe in trolls, and y'all believe in whatever you'd like. It's a very cool environment, but it feels like you're in Lord of the Rings.
So that was your second choice?
America's number one.
There you go, America. Anywhere particular in America, or just
appreciate it even more?
The whole country?
The whole country.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
One final thing.
Coming into my shot. Sorry.
I know it's kind of weird, with the pandemic and things, but do you get out and play live ever, or is that something you want to do?
It's so funny. We've had a lot of requests, and a big part of what I do is speaking at big conferences all over the country in my world of tech. And a lot of these conferences are saying, hey, can you do a set as well? I think we're considering it maybe like 6 months to a year after we get like an established environment together where we're all like feeling gelled. I think that's really important. And like, thank goodness for technology right now in the past 2 years, but I certainly hope that like long-term that we can be out there playing live. Awesome. We look forward to seeing you. When you play Rochester, we'll bring a garbage plate to the show. Garbage plates for everybody. You got it. You got it. Katie Linendoll is my guest. Thank you so much, and good luck with the single. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Here it is, Renaissance Lady on Bigfoot Country Radio. Definitely the way that I